is 10:11. We're slightly late, but don't hold that against us. It's a Friday night, December 15th, 2023. 10 days out from Christmas, if you can believe it or not. This is Smack Talk here on the Sportskeeda Wrestling Facebook page.
Last night of Hanukkah.
There you go. Yes, very, very important. Very important. And on the the Wrestle Binge by Sportskeeda YouTube channel. I'll never get that right on the first attempt. Rick Ucchino, SP3, and filling in once again for the wrestling legend himself, Dutch Mantell, is a wrestling legend in and of himself in Bill Apter. Thank you for joining us here for a third week in a row here, Bill.
Thank you for bringing me back to the team. I love my Friday nights doing this. I love talking about SmackDown. I love working with you two people right here on Wrestle Binge by Sportskeeda.
See, and that's why he's a legend. He can actually get it right on the first attempt there, SP3. We appreciate everybody who is in the chat already. What's going on? Ozzy and Pablo and Cool Gamer and Alfred and Safet. Get your comments in. We'll try to get to as many of them as possible. You can send in a super chat. That is the guaranteed way to get your comment read on the air. If you have a question for Bill or any of us, make sure to get them in. I will do my absolute best to get those read on the air today. Got a lot to break down. Roman Reigns is back. Randy Orton is still trying to make Daddy's back a thing. The women's tag team division might be back. Might be. We'll see how things keep progressing there. Charlotte Flair is out, and that's going to have a big ripple effect on WrestleMania. And, AJ Styles is back, and for some reason, he's fighting everybody except Randy Orton. We will talk about all of that here. SP3,
let me talk to you.
Yes, SP3. I want to start with you because you, in our pre-show meeting, our vigorous pre-show meeting here, you did not seem overly enthused with tonight's show.
It was a show. If you watch the beginning and you watch the end, that's pretty much all you need to get. Everything in the middle felt very unimportant, regardless of if it was entertaining or not. That's different from feeling unimportant. Being entertaining and being important are not always the same thing in WWE. Some stuff can be entertaining, but it's not important. Nothing was important if it didn't involve Roman Reigns or Randy Orton in it on the show.
Yeah,
I don't totally agree with that, but let's take it piece by piece in whatever order you have it in tonight.
Yeah, well, we'll start with the Bloodline because whenever Roman Reigns is on, he runs the show. He took his sweet ass time getting to the ring tonight, flanked by the Bloodline to kick off the show. And Roman says it is promotion season because he is a very, very good boss. He says tonight is all about one man, the man who really steps up in his absence, the next tribal heir. You got Jimmy Uso clowning behind him like he's getting ready to say his name, and he does. But then Bill, he says, join me in congratulating your brother, Solo Sikoa.
It's like being at the Oscar Awards and you think that you're getting the best picture of the best actor or actress of the year, and it's someone else. I thought his antics were very well done at that point.
I mean, if you watch the show, it's kind of not like that. It's kind of like a person that was an extra thinking they're going to win Best Actor, because Jimmy Uso, you did nothing to think that this promotion was going to be you. Like literally him doing all this. I'm like, it's not you. It's obviously not you.
Well, we knew that. Everybody watching that knew it. It was telegraphed.
I am talking about in kayfabe. Even in kayfabe, I'm just as a viewer of the show, I'm just like, Jimmy, come on, sit your
It's clearly the guy. It's clearly the guy who beat the holy hell out of John Cena. Like, come on. But the fact that Jimmy Uso had the same look as Angela Bassett when Jamie Lee Curtis's name was called at the Oscars was perfect.
Ooh,
that
wow.
was a very good sell job by Jimmy. Look, we could sit here and argue about his reemergence in the Bloodline making absolutely no sense, but ever since he has rejoined, his portrayal of this class clown that just can't do anything right has been highly, highly entertaining. And I enjoy everything that he's been doing. And it doesn't hurt him wrestling in a main event segment tonight, getting his ass kicked and helping set up things to get in motion here. We did get Randy Orton, who interrupts here, Bill, and says that he has thought about Roman Reigns and the Bloodline for 18 months. And he is ready to challenge Roman at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. I'm noticing more and more people just saying WWE Championship and not that Universal
Yeah, I
title.
was waiting for him because Paul, when he was announced as the undisputed Universal Champion. So I don't know if that was just kind of a slip of the tongue of Randy when Randy said, "I want that WWE belt from you."
I don't know if it's Randy, slipping the tongue, or it kind of feels like to me, SP3, it's a slow phase out here. It's a slow phase out.
I feel like the baby faces that have been feuding with Roman are setting up Cody to beat Roman and then just call it the WWE Championship. That's what it feels like, because he's the second baby face feuding with Roman that just referred to it as WWE Championship after LA Knight did in the lead up to Crown Jewel.
I loved Roman Reigns' promo tonight. First and foremost, SP3, and I think you can agree with me on this one. Roman Reigns kind of setting the tone for this new era of Triple H officially being in charge of creative by saying, you don't just show up and ask for a title shot anymore and get it. He didn't say anymore, but he says that's not how things work around here. And I'm like, yeah, now thank God, because this makes total sense for him to say, you got to go out there and you have to absolutely earn it. And then I thought it was really savage, SP3, when he said, you've been thinking about me for 18 months. I haven't thought about you at all.
Great line. Great line.
Roman was on his shit tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roman is just such a believable villain. Like, he's just like a mob boss that just is too high up in his ivy tower to be bothered by people that he has kind of burnt and left on the side of the road with nothing else to do but think about him and try to get back at him. So that's what Randy Orton came off to him in this segment. And I thought Roman was great in the opening segment. I thought Randy Orton was really good playing off of the Roman Reigns character.
Actually, it's almost really like a mob boss against a mob boss. If you really look at it, they both come across that way. It was good what you said about Roman being like a mob boss, but Randy Orton comes across that same way to me.
I could see that. He definitely has an aura about him, and he's got the pedigree. He's got, all the accolades and everything. And, I like Orton's comeback here where he says, hey, look, you know what, Roman, you're right. You have evolved. You have stepped up the game. 1,200 days as WWE champion. You have become a legend. Setting up what we all knew the next line was going to be. But he says, I have evolved too, but one thing I will always be is a legend killer. So this sets up everything here. Randy's going to have to jump through some hoops. It starts with Jey Uso tonight. He gets the main event shot against Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso. And we had a couple of really great backstage segments before the main event. SP3, when Jimmy is sitting backstage and he is next to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is just sitting here baffled and pissed off about Randy Orton's existence. Jimmy's just over here just butthurt, being like, well, why don't you get your next heir over here to take care of business? And then Roman's like, well, wait a minute. This is promotion season. This is a chance for you to go out and earn something. And then Jimmy perks up like, oh, damn, all right, I still got a shot to go out and prove myself.
I still might be promoted.
I thought his chest.
I thought that was an excellent little segment. And then later on, SP3, when we had Jimmy backstage, paranoid as hell, like, hey, Solo, if something was going to go down with me, you'd let me know, right? Like he's talking to his executioner saying, hey, before you pull the trigger, you're going to give me a warning, right?
Yeah, yeah. And Solo just standing there. Like, like he's hearing him, but he doesn't want to react.
He's hearing, but he ain't listening.
And he says, you're my brother. And then clinches his fist with the Samoan spike. It was great. Great stuff. That's what I said. Anything with Roman Reigns and Randy Orton, that's the stuff that felt important on this show. Nothing else felt really that important, honestly.
All right, so let's go to the main event tonight. We get Randy Orton here, Bill, against Jimmy Uso. I thought this was a fine match. Clearly, there was a lot of stuff that was going to happen after it because this thing ended at 9:52, so we still had about 6 to 8 minutes left on the show.
Before you get to the end of it, with Randy Orton being out for those 18 months, the spot that he did where he lied back and waited for Uso to come and somersault on him and all. To go with the butt thing on him there, how dangerous a move for someone whose neck, was in that type of shape, and to just go ahead and do that. We saw him move his neck out of the way, but that's kind of dangerous for a guy to be that just came back from an injury from that area to say it's okay to do something like that. Didn't you think so?
I kind of just, in that kind of an instance, I just kind of leave it up to Randy. Kind of knows what he's doing at this point, like he and nobody. It's hard for me to sit here and say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that," because I don't know where his body's at. I don't know how he's feeling. If he feels like he's comfortable enough doing something like that, guy's been around for over 3 decades now at this point, almost. Like I just
then I guess it was okay with him.
And he took it he took it properly because he took his head out the way. He didn't just put
I saw that. But there's always that.
That's why he protected himself.
Yeah.
I didn't.
There's always that chance of an accident there, so that worried me. But I thought the match was good.
Yeah, I think in Randy's situation, I don't think he can come back and wrestle anything less than what he typically does. Because when you see people try to protect themselves, and Bill, you know this better than I or SP3 do, all the years you've been watching the game, but like if you try to protect yourself, or you try, or you half-ass, or you do anything, you feint, that's when you end up getting hurt, is when you're trying to play it safe, you end up getting hurt. So, but
you're being too cautious.
Yes, I liked the match. I liked the finish of the match because we did get a backstage segment with Randy Orton and LA Knight prior to, where LA comes up to him and he's like, so what time do I need to set my watch to come out here and make the save tonight? And Randy's just like, dude, we're cool. I met you a week ago. We won. We're fine. But if you want to stay that way, stay the hell out of my business.
Yep.
But LA Knight not backing down, saying, hey, look, if anybody's taking out the bloodline, it's me. So the match looks to be in Randy's.
Stop right there. That was something that I thought was great because no one expected that. No one expected that for LA Knight and Randy Orton to have even a short verbal confrontation. Did either of you think that was going to take place?
After last week, yes, but prior to, I wasn't quite sure because until when Randy came around last week, I was a little worried about where LA Knight might fall on the card, shall we say, after everything. But them keeping him around as this, another option, for Roman Reigns and still feuding with the bloodline, I like that. So I feel like he's going to be sticking around in the picture for a while, even if he doesn't end up getting a match with Roman ever again, frankly. It's because there's only so many pay-per-view slots open between now and WrestleMania, and we're pretty sure it's going to be Cody's. So I like that.
I think I called it 2 weeks ago that I said that they were going to do probably LA Knight versus Randy Orton, and that's how Randy Orton gets his match against Roman Reigns. So yeah, I kind of see them kind of teasing this whole tension between them, and then lead to like a babyface versus babyface #1 contenders match.
I don't know if it's going to go there at all. Where I think it's going to go is they needed to find a spot to put LA Knight that wasn't a demotion. And this is why I think the AJ Styles thing happened tonight, because that's the feud, LA Knight, AJ Styles. We're going to have it explained as to why it happened, but I think that's where it's still going to be Cody Reigns, and it's going to be Seth Rollins with
CM Punk.
With CM Punk,
Right.
And it's going to be LA Knight in that position with AJ Styles.
Heck,
that's probably the long-term thing, but they got to explain what the hell tonight was, because that was very confusing.
Before we get to the end of there, Andy Wilson asking, any word on Dutch? Hope he is getting better. We did get word earlier today. Thank you for the reminder. Dutch is doing better. Hopefully he will be back within the next couple of weeks. So yes, that's the good news. Dutch is on the mend. Other than that, don't have a whole lot of details to pass along to you. So just keep the good vibes.
We miss you.
We definitely miss you, and thank you for letting me be in his spot. And Dutch, thank you for letting me be in your spot.
So the end of the match saw LA Knight come out and provide the not needed distraction, but a distraction for Randy Orton to hit the RKO on Jimmy Uso and win. This is after Solo Sikoa's music hit, so he was coming down to the ring, talking about that numbers game. LA Knight gives him the opportunity. Randy hits the RKO. Again, this match ended around 9:52, so you knew some stuff was about to go down. LA Knight is strutting down to the ring with all the bravado and the confidence that he usually has, and he's like, I told you without me. And then Roman Reigns comes out and clocks him from behind. I like that a lot. Then the brawl is on. We end up getting numbers game in the ring. Roman and Randy and Solo and Jimmy, they're all beating him down. You get LA Knight back in the mix. It's 3-on-2. I had a feeling at this point somebody else was going to show up. AJ Styles made the most sense. I know we were talking about last week. We weren't quite sure where he was going to fit in this equation. Maybe he returns at the Royal Rumble. Turns out he shows up tonight. We get his music. He shoots Roman Reigns with the phenomenal forearm from behind. Everything looks like it's hunky-dory here, SP3. And then AJ Styles, who's wearing all black, none of his merch, nothing, which is interesting, takes off his shirt. And he looked
good, by the way. His body
is absolutely shredded. That boy was not sitting on the couch in his absence eating potato chips. All right, that was not. That dude was eating the dumbbells. That's what that man was doing. He was shredded out of his mind, like he had just took a dose of the secret ooze. All right, that's a Ninja Turtles reference for those who don't get it. But anyway, he turns around and he clocks LA Knight, SP3. I'm trying to think back of the last time we saw AJ Styles when he was taken out by Solo Sikoa, by Jimmy Uso. Was there any kind of back and forth, any kind of beef between himself and LA Knight that he would just show up and decide, hey, I'm going to clock you with a forearm and then walk past the bloodline, the dudes I just attacked? This was confusing. I'm intrigued, but it's still confusing.
That's it. You're intrigued. That's what they want. Perfect.
Am I missing anything though, SP3?
I mean, I think Bill had a theory that he wanted to share with us. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I already said it. Is that AJ Styles needs to be in the feud at this point with LA Knight, and that's what this is all about.
But that doesn't explain why he hit him.
We don't know why.
I thought you had a theory as far as why he hit him.
No,
I do have a theory on why he hit him.
What's your theory?
It's pretty simple, guys. He got attacked. Who replaced him to be John Cena's partner at Fastlane? LA Knight. He took his spot. Pretty simple. That's that. I feel like that's all they're gonna do. That's all they're gonna do to explain it, or I'm jealous of your popularity, or you were in my way, something like that. That's what I think it is gonna be. It's not gonna if it's anything more than that, I give them credit for trying to be creative, but it might be too creative and sound stupid. But no, I feel like that's it. That's it.
You have a great theory there of that. You know, you stole my spot. I'm supposed to be there. And then he can go wild on Nick Aldis and say, what's this guy doing here? That's what I'm supposed to be doing. You said you'd hold my spot. That wasn't me. That was Adam Pearce. Oh.
There you go. An issue with Nick Aldis as well.
Regardless of what it ends up being, I liked what tonight signified because it did kind of feel like a little bit of a refresh for multiple people. And AJ Styles has been on the back burner for far too damn long. And if he's going to be thrust into this main event picture on Friday Night SmackDown with Roman Reigns back in the fold, and you got Randy Orton there, and you got LA Knight, yeah, we know Cody's around the corner, but injecting AJ Styles in there somewhere. And heck, who knows if maybe this
it instantly feels like they by doing this move, they wanted to eliminate him as people thinking of him as a possible challenger for Roman before we get to Cody. Yeah. I feel like that was another reason why they did this move. I don't agree with it. It feels like a move where I feel like I missed some weeks. I'm like, okay, I feel like I skipped some chapters, or you should have told me some chapters in between this story. But it feels like that's the reason why they did it most of all. And secondly, if we look at AJ Styles' career in WWE, his best work has been as a heel. His best work has been as a heel. It's
Yeah.
like by
Did
far.
either one of you think for a second what I thought when he was calmly walking up the aisle that he was going to put his arms around Paul Heyman?
Oh, I thought he was going to embrace with the bloodline. I thought
Me
that would have been something stupid to do. So I was
Yeah.
very happy that he didn't do that, but I 100% was with you,
Yeah,
Bill. I thought he was about to go up to Roman and be like, "I acknowledge you," or something like that.
But that would have been completely stupid because he literally just phenomenal forearmed the man and punched him and kicked him out of the ring, which makes me think, is this a full-fledged heel turn, or is this just a dude that is going to clock anybody that he has beef with? WWE back in the day, it was, the baby faces, they all love each other because they're all the good guys, no matter what their history is. Nowadays, you have more nuanced storytelling, which I give credit to Triple H for. Yes, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins are both baby faces. These MFers hate each other, and they acknowledge that they hate each other, but they're able to put their differences aside for one night inside of War Games. All right, I respect and I understand that. So AJ Styles coming back, yes, he's going to punch Roman Reigns in the face. But yeah, I don't give a damn if LA Knight is this popular babyface, and so am I. We're not buddy. We don't know what the reason is yet, but he clocked the hell out of LA Knight because he got something wrong with him. So I don't have a problem with babyfaces not liking each other or feuding with one another. If AJ is going to be kind of this tweener and just kind of, or maybe like this anti-hero guy, if I don't give a damn who you are, I am out to take back my spot as the phenomenal main event AJ Styles type guy. I'm cool with this, but yeah, I'd like an explanation. And
the fans will choose once they start the actual feud. The fans, there's going to be half the crowd AJ Styles, half the crowd LA Knight, or more than half for LA Knight, because a lot of the fans are probably upset as to what AJ Styles did to their favorite guy at this point.
Stephen Reed asking, do you think Braun Breaker will ever make it to the main roster? Yes, 1,000,000%. He's going to be on the main roster. I can't tell you when. That's going to happen, but yeah, he'll be up on the main roster. I
thought he'd be there already. I thought he'd be there already.
He had that cup of coffee.
It should definitely be after WrestleMania at the latest.
Yeah.
I think, was it Booker T who said he wanted him in NXT for like another year? I think that would be way too long.
Yeah, Booker T. Yep.
All right, let's talk.
Did you just say that? Did you really?
Let's talk about
Tell
tonight.
me you didn't say that.
He said that. Let's talk about tonight's United States #1 contender title tournament. We had Carmelo Hayes. He was the guy who got the call up for this matchup tonight. I thought they gave him a great promo hype package ahead of the match to kind of educate people who don't watch NXT a little bit about this man. I thought this was I think he and Grayson Waller have had better matches than what they had tonight. This was still a nice introduction. A lot of high-flying action in this one. At one point, Grayson Waller hit a top rope rolling famouser. I don't know what the hell that was. Commentary didn't know what the hell that was, but I liked it. One of the things I love about Grayson Waller is he will get innovative with his offense. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but it still looks cool when he does it, and I can appreciate that. Didn't matter, though. In the end, Carmelo gets the win with the nothing but net. I think this was the right decision.
It was wrong, though, to a point, and I'm going to point this out.
Okay,
when I saw that move, and then Carmelo makes a comeback after that move, that looked like it broke his head. That would send anybody just to unconsciousness. And I was like, well, that's it. Waller's going to win this thing. And Carmelo kicks out. He's dazed for a little bit, and then he's doing flying moves and everything. I was like, how can he do that after that move? That was a devastating move.
Yeah, it almost looked too good, SP3, like it should have been a finisher, Yeah.
And Waller's just so very innovative in the ring. Like he did that flipping kill switch that he does. Then he's got this move, which was really like the playmaker, the old playmaker that MVP used to do, but he did a flip and it just lands into like a Canadian destroyer landing for Carmelo Hayes. So he's just showing off his innovation again. He does different things and he tries different moves. That's probably the first time he's even tried that move. So it's great that he was able to pull it off the way he did. It was a strong victory for Carmelo Hayes, but like you said, I've seen them have stronger matches, and this is why I'm going to say, once again, as we go through everything that happened between all of the bloodline stuff, just didn't feel important. Even though this match was solid, I was like, I could have missed this.
Yeah. I thought he broke.
You could have just told me the result.
I thought he broke his neck after he did that. That looked so genuine and so real. It really did.
He's great at selling. Carmelo is one of the best sellers in NXT, hands down. And I get what you're saying, Bill, and it's more of the old school mentality. I hear Kevin Nash talk a lot about this. You know,
that would have been a finisher.
Taking time to sell moves, and today it's a high octane go kind of action, and that's just what the style is nowadays. And you've heard. Heck, I remember sitting in a press conference, you know, with Shawn Michaels and him trying to talking about him explaining that to Kevin Nash, saying this is just what the style is nowadays. I did think this was the right decision to have Carmelo Hayes go over. Yes, I'm interested to see if this is a cup of coffee for him or if this is like ends up being an official call up. He's still got a lot going on in NXT right now, but Bill, he's ready, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He was really impressive. He got killed in a lot of time in this match, but it had a good competitive feel to it. It wasn't like here's this guy coming in and he's, him and he's just going to destroy Grayson Waller. I like that they gave both of them time to showcase their talents.
And then almost immediately we roll right into the other quarterfinal matchup, which was Kevin Owens against Austin Theory. KO's hand was the story of this one. It limited his offense at times. You had Theory constantly attacking it, trying to take it out, and finally KO just got fed up and clocked him with the damn thing, which apparently he could have done 5 minutes into the match and called it a day. But he's like, ow, my hand. Oh, damn, he's out. Let me just go ahead and pin him.
He never realized he's got that, and he looked at the hand like, dang, I could have been like Bob Orton Sr. there with the cast.
Yeah, if he was facing anybody other than Carmelo Hayes, I would almost just want him next week in the semifinals to just do that move within the first 60 seconds, clock him with the cast, and move on to the finals. If it was anybody other than Carmelo Hayes. I did think that this was again, a good matchup. I've seen better between these two, but it does set up an interesting semifinal next week. And this is kind of one of those situations where I'm like, all right, I understand bringing up Carmelo Hayes here, SP3, but now he's got to go up against Kevin Owens, who I think they are clearly setting up to win this damn tournament. And I still think he is going to win regardless who he ends up facing in the finals. But you're going to have Carmelo Hayes go up against a one-handed man and lose? I got mixed emotions. I got mixed feelings about that.
I mean, if he accidentally uses the cast to win, that protects Melo. So I think that's what we're leading to with what they set up this week. I like their little interaction backstage, and I really like this match much better than the Melo and Grayson Waller match. I feel like Austin Theory, he has a great moveset, but it looks even more impressive when he does stuff on Kevin Owens. So a lot of his power moves and regular moves that usually I wouldn't even blink an eye to, it looks a lot more impressive on someone as big as Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens makes for a very convincing underdog babyface, and the crowd got behind him. The crowd was really into this matchup. I would say it was the match of the night.
Your thoughts, Bill?
I like your idea there, where accidentally Kevin Owens clocks him with the cast next week somewhere after a really, really good match, and he wins it, and that becomes a regular staple of what he's doing. Also in these challenge matches here for the contender, of course, for Logan Paul, I like how they had Logan Paul in the little box there talking about the match.
Yeah,
that was a nice little touch to have Logan
Yes.
Paul as like the roving commentator mentioning stuff about the different matches and then crapping all over the baby faces. I did like
good
that.
touch.
I really wanted to laugh at that line where he said Kevin Owens dresses like a fifth grader who takes PE dodgeball way too seriously, but I resemble that mark way too much to be able to at that one. What did we think of the Karrion Kross promo tonight, guys? So they just brought him back.
He's rolling his eyes. Wait a minute. He's rolling his eyes, and unfortunately, I am too.
We just brought back Karrion last week, and I say we, I mean WWE. They bring back Karrion Kross last week. He loses to Bobby Lashley clean as a sheet in the quarterfinals. And now you come out here and you haven't put together this promo package talking about how they're on the threshold of a new beginning and everything was put in motion when he was first brought back, even though they didn't follow through on literally any of the stuff. Like, he came out there in the first night, he puts the hourglass down and he puts Roman Reigns on notice. He ain't even uttered Roman Reigns' mouth in a year. I can't even remember the last time this man won a match. But he's out here talking about how it's a new beginnings and everybody's on notice and we're all going to see. I feel like this is more of the same. I love the production work of it. I think Karrion Kross cuts a hell of a promo. He didn't say TikTok tonight. I think that's a little bit interesting. But other than that, I'm like, what are we doing here? Having him come back last week and lose and then doing this makes no sense.
Shocked. I looked at it and I said, why? Why are they throwing this thing in? Like you said, he just lost, and he's not on the mind of the fans as a real vicious type of competitor at this point. I don't know why they did this.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I almost fell asleep on this review here because I thought about watching that promo and I almost fell asleep watching it live. So I almost thinking
Did
about
you really?
it. Almost thinking about it. I almost fell asleep thinking about it. I mean, this was just like, I think Jordan Patu on Twitter put it the best. This is like resetting a broken phone multiple different times.
Interesting.
That's what they are doing with Karrion Kross. It's not, you need to get a whole new phone or just start anew. Get a whole new phone. Don't try to restart the same broken phone. This is now the third time since he came back last September. And now this is second or third time they have resetted him in that amount of time. In less than 18 months, you've had to reset him every 6 months. Get a new phone. Get a new Karrion Kross. Start anew. Have a new feud. Have a new plan for him. Because this, doing the same thing you've been doing, and they look great, like Rick said. It looks great. Production's great. He's a great promo. Like I said, I waxed lyrically about him last week. I think the guy is very talented, but WWE just doesn't seem to get him.
They need to bring him down to NXT to recreate him from ground up. He's an excellent worker. He's an excellent presentation. He can work in the ring, but they haven't packaged him properly. I think he needs to go down to NXT. And look what they did with Corbin. I mean, they moved him up to like main events in NXT. They did it very slowly. Very slowly. They need to do that with Karrion Kross. He needs to go back there.
I agree with you to a point. And they have been very successful with almost like tearing down these superstars down to like the bare structure and then starting anew and really kind of working with them to get their input on their characters. The problem is I'm having a hard time thinking of anybody who has gone back down to NXT who has then came back up to the main roster and really kind of accomplished anything. That's kind of the issue. It's like if you go back down to NXT, it's almost like, well, this is where you're going to get your significant push, right? Like what they've done with Dijak, what they have done with Baron Corbin. And I kind of think that's why you see guys like Corbin say, oh, no, I actually asked to stay in NXT for a while.
Yeah. But it's okay.
He's still getting his main roster paycheck.
There's no shame in being a star in NXT.
No, absolutely not.
It really isn't. You know, it's their own niche. It's their own little company, so to say, under the banner of WWE, of course, but it's another part of WWE. So maybe it's not the right time again for Raw or SmackDown, but maybe you can shine in NXT.
Maybe they're going to do something a little bit different. Like I said, there wasn't any of the hourglass stuff. He didn't say TikTok at the end of his promo. I was waiting for that. Maybe this is a slightly different direction they're going to go with him. Maybe they're going to turn him babyface. I don't know. I could see enough differences to think maybe they have a plan for him, but yeah, I don't know.
With that promo, that's not going to be a babyface.
Yeah. Andy Wilson saying they should have carried Cross's NXT gimmick onto the main roster. I do think there are a lot of people that still have the bad taste in their mouth about when he showed up in the Gimp mask and then he immediately lost to Jeff Hardy. And I still think a lot of this also goes back to the Adam Cole promo where he just got exposed on
all of that happened around the same time, Rick. It literally was a month apart from each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's hard for people to forget that. The main hardcore WWE fans, it's hard for guys to rebound off of that. So hopefully he does. We did get unfortunate news tonight on the status of Charlotte Flair, who was injured last week in her match with Asuka. WWE says she is going to be out up to 9 months with that knee injury. And even if they're kayfabing it, as they have been known to do in the past, so they can kind of get a shock return after a few months or so.
Wait, how many? Did you say 9 months?
9 months. Yes. Wasn't that the magical number they gave like John? That's always the magic number, isn't it? That's what they said about Cena.
Well, it's also the magic number for having a baby, too. 9 months.
Yeah, it is,
no,
but
I don't think it's happening.
I don't think it's that because then you got to add a lot of time onto that.
Strike
But anyway,
that from the record.
Even if they're kayfabing this, it seems like she's out for Mania season, which is a massive bummer, and I think is going to have a massive trickle down on the card because we know Charlotte Flair, healthy, was going to be in a significant match on that show. Potentially against Bianca Belair, potentially in a WWE Women's Championship matchup, whatever it was going to be. Now it's going to have a trickle down on the rest of the roster. I think you can, with pen, write in Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. The other matches now on the card for the women's division, I'm not sure, but I think you almost kind of saw a bit of a pivot tonight. We did not see Bianca Belair on the show. We saw Damage Control. Great video package, at least until they started laughing like they were in an Austin Powers flick. But a great video package with Damage Control. They're all on the same page. Bayley's putting EO over. The Kabuki Warriors are back together as a tag team as part of Damage Control, which I think is greatly needed for that women's tag team division. A great boost. And Bayley says she's entering the Royal Rumble with the goal of challenging Rhea Ripley. And all of that is well and good. But gentlemen, am I wrong? With Charlotte Flair now out, and she was the 1A, 1B babyface on this show, they need to hurry up and split Bayley away from this group because you have got Bianca Belair as your top babyface, and this isn't a knock against any of the other ladies. You have a massive gap, and then you have Michin, Zelina, and the rest of the babyface, Shotzi. Like, and I'm not talking like talent or anything. I'm talking about audience investment. It is Bianca, then it is at a massive gap, and then it's the rest of the women on the roster here. And you can't just keep having for the next 5 months all the way through WrestleMania season. It cannot be Bianca Belair going up against 5 members of Damage Control. It cannot be that. They got to split Bayley from this group sooner rather than later. They need another babyface unless they're going to make a call and cut a check to a certain boss or somebody.
That's why it's happening after the Royal Rumble, guys. Like I think they pretty much have told us what they were going to do with that vignette. That vignette was just like, oh, so we're doing Bayley and Io Sky as the other championship match.
I hope that's what they're doing. Yeah,
that's what they're doing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm very good at taking WWE contest clues, and when WWE tells me something that clear, like, yeah, that's the thing we're doing on this show. This is the focus, Damage Control, and the story playing out. This is now the focus because outside of Bianca, we don't have anybody to go against them, so it's all about focus on them, and that's what tonight was all about. Was just It's 100% focused on them because Bianca was in the building because they're filming next week's show tonight.
Exactly.
So they could have put Bianca on the show, but they did that purposely to put all the focus on Damage Control because they're going to be the focus through WrestleMania.
And are they going to call Lita back up?
I don't think so. But here's a good question. And SP3, I think you're right. If they do Bayley versus EO for the WWE Women's Championship, I'm not mad at that. Where does that leave Bianca? What do they have on the table for Bianca come WrestleMania, who has got a very impressive streak running where she has 3 consecutive WWE Women's Championship matches, one-on-one matches in which she has been victorious on all of them. I would have guessed it would have been her and Charlotte, at least one-on-one at Mania, possibly for the title. I don't know where she fits. Is she going up against Legend? I mean, do they have something else up their sleeves?
Guys, we're going to have to break glass in case of emergency. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 40. What else? What else do they got? You just guys could kind of just talked about it. Like, there's no one anyone else that jumps out at us on the current roster.
It's got to be. You're right. It's got to be Jade at that point.
Bianca tosses Jade for the Royal Rumble, and boom, we're off to the races.
Yeah. Jade wins the Royal Rumble.
Or they just start their feud in the Royal Rumble because I feel like Bayley needs this Rumble win. If that's gonna be the title match, Bayley versus Io, I'd rather them do the Bayley wins, which is also gonna get the crowd back on her side as far as cheering her. And then afterwards, they can do it for a couple weeks because WWE loves to play stuff out slowly across a couple of episodes of Damage Control playing the role of Triple H and Ric Flair to Bayley's Batista and trying to convince Bayley to choose Rhea when they don't really want Bayley even on SmackDown anymore. They don't want her in the group. They're like, go to Raw. And that's going to make Bayley eventually choose Io.
One of the other things that I liked about what they did tonight in that promo, Bill, was set the stage for Dakota to take over as center stage as like the mastermind and the master manipulator for Damage Control. They did it with it was more obvious what they did Roman and Solo earlier. They did the same thing with Bayley and Dakota tonight.
Yeah. The commentators were talking about it. They really have set that in motion at this point.
We got Will Chisholm asking, SP3 put his Triple H hat on. So what? So going by what SRS reported, I don't know what you're talking about specifically. When might we see Mercedes Moné pop up in WWE? I'll say this much: Charlotte Flair's injury price tag just went up. Price just went up. It just went through the roof for Mercedes Moné. WWE got the bag. If they want to give it to her, they can. And if Bayley doesn't win the Royal Rumble, she should, to be completely honest with you, to make up for the fact that she should have won it a couple years ago at this point. But
fans will go nuts. Fans will go crazy if she comes back.
This, with everything that's going on with Damage Control, Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, whatever you want to call her, I think if she came back to WWE, she'd probably be Sasha Banks again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes so much sense. It's the perfect in back for her, is for her to come back and pick up, honestly, right where this whole Kabuki Warriors, Boston Hug connection thing left off, is for Mercedes to come in. The story is there. It's already written. It's ready to go, where Bayley thinks she's on an island all by herself. Because, I mean, it would make the last thing that I want out of this is for Bayley to be the good guy, and she just got her ass kicked by Damage Control, and she's getting her butt whooped every single week, and then it's Bianca who comes to her rescue. No, screw that. Bianca should be sitting back laughing her damn ass off at Bayley getting her butt whooped for everything that this woman has put her through for the last 2 years. So if that's their end game is, we'll just put Bayley and Bianca together, you guys better LA Knight and AJ Styles that shit right now. Like that's where that needs to be.
Yep. Agreed.
Equal ways, but Bill, it would be the perfect spot for Mercedes to come in to assist her old friend Bayley. I just don't.
And
look,
it covers
that.
It covers that Charlotte loss as well. It's got somebody a major star back in there again.
She's needed. There's a spot. Do we think they cut the
Absolutely.
check? Do we think they cut the check? Do we think Mercedes?
Oh,
wants
yeah.
to
You
come
know
back?
what? Her last name is Banks.
Or Monet?
Right.
The bag talks. The bag
Monet,
talks.
right. The French word for money. You have a lot of Monet. Yeah.
SP3, what does your gut tell you about the situation?
My gut is telling me Mercedes Moné will be back in WWE as Sasha Banks by the latest, the Raw after WrestleMania. That's what it tells me at this point. I think WrestleMania is when she comes back. I think that's when she's gonna be back in the company.
I think it's going to be the Rumble, and it's going to be a great holy SH moment.
God, could there be a spot in the Rumble match? This would have to be shenanigans out the wazoo. But could there be a moment where Damage Control turns on Bayley in the match? Yeah. And it's like a 4-on-1 beatdown situation, and then Sasha shows up like she's the number 30 competitor or something like that.
Well, Io can't be in the Rumble match.
So. Could be.
Well, you're right. She's got the
she's the champion.
Got the belt.
Brock Lesnar was the champion, and he was in the damn Royal Rumble.
Well, they literally announced that ahead of time, Rick. That's not something that
doesn't have to be in the match. But she doesn't have to be in the match. She doesn't have to be in the match. She could just be an outside, entity in the ring, kicking the shit out of Bayley, calling the shots. Like, she doesn't have to be a competitor in the match. She could be trying to set up Asuka or anybody else to win that match if they really, really wanted to. I'm just saying, could they set it up in some way for Sasha to show back up at the Rumble to get back into this storyline to set a major matchup for WrestleMania? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I'd love to see her back. We'll see.
Or Jade Cargill becomes the Sasha person, and that's what they're saving her for.
Bill, Jade is not winning the Royal Rumble. I'm sorry.
That's why I think Sasha's not coming back to WrestleMania. I think they save her for WrestleMania. I think that Rumble, they're going to put the spotlight on Jade. Maybe we even get AJ Lee. I don't know at this point. I feel it's more likely we get a surprise AJ Lee than a Sasha Banks.
Don't get my hopes up. Don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Anything is possible now.
That's his girl. His girl.
I wish. I mean, what? SP3, what you got going on this weekend?
Check out the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. I'll be live tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. The True Hill Heat flagship podcast. Myself, Miss Chrissy Love, talking all about why WBD may choose WWE Raw over AEW due to CM Punk. Talk about CM Punk taking over NXT. Talk about Kenny Omega being out indefinitely. Liv Morgan's arrested. We got plenty to talk about tomorrow, so join us live. True Hill Heat YouTube channel.
Bill, what you got going on?
I've got a live virtual signing for Think Signatures from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. this coming Sunday night, Eastern Time. So I'll be having my book there, be doing book signings, autograph signings. It's virtual, it's live, and Wonderful Willie will be there in person, if you will.
Ozzy saying Rick is the new head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Hey, I couldn't do a worse job than Brandon Staley did. Go Bengals tomorrow, although I'll be watching that game from a birthday party because tomorrow is my son's 3rd birthday.
Hey,
holy shit.
happy birthday.
I am old as hell. Happy birthday to my little man, Raymond Wyatt. Daddy loves you. Hopefully
How can you be talking about that and that part of football? You're talking football, right? I'm not a big football guy, but the football is all about Travis and Taylor.
No, it's not, and it really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. And Travis is my dude because he played at the University of Cincinnati, but I am so sick of seeing his face on television. Jesus. You can follow me on the X or Threads or Instagram. It's all there at Rick Ucchino. It's the same at. That's the benefit of having a very unique last name. That is where you get nonstop, the one-stop shop for all of my work, whether it's on CageSideSeats.com or Sports Illustrated if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan. Yes, by the way, I didn't bring it up, but Liv Morgan was arrested in Florida today because for some reason people are still getting arrested for marijuana possession.
I thought it was for posing with MJF.
No, maybe I don't know. Maybe Tony Khan called the cops. Who knows?
Maybe.
But, yeah, like it wasn't even for OVI. What are we doing? What are we doing? Who cares that she had weed on the front seat? Jesus, it's 2023. Grow up.
Yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
All right.
I swear
Thank
to God,
you
that was
guys for
about to
letting
come
me
out of my
sit in
mouth,
again.
and then your voice protruded there, SP3. Thank you so much, Bill.
you.
Appreciate it. And
Thank you for
we'll talk
letting
at
me
you
be
guys.
here.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you all for, and I'll see you all at Think Signatures Sunday night.
There we go. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the weekend.